Okay. Listen to me, dear students. See the book. Moments. I am teaching you lesson 3. Something just I have sent on your WhatsApp group. Iswaran the storyteller. This is a very good story, gives a good message that we should not believe in the ghosts. When a small child is there, the father, mother, some friends, they make him afraid that there are the ghosts. Really, there is no ghost. Have you seen the ghost, anybody? Nobody has seen. We have not seen any ghost. Only people are thinking that there are the ghosts. So we should not think that there is a ghost. This story is about not believing in the ghosts. We should never believe in the ghost. One thing I wanted to share the board, so I was okay. We should never believe in the ghosts. Why so? Nobody has seen the ghosts. You can see God, but you cannot see ghosts. Ghost is past thing. Iswaran, the storyteller. The theme is imaginary stories. Iswaran is a person who tells a lie, who makes so many stories, false stories, and tells his owner, tells his master, Mahendra. Mahendra is engineer and his posting is outside of the city in any remote area. And Iswaran is the cook. He is the cook and he is narrator also, a storyteller. He tells a lot of stories, false stories. Nothing is real. And he makes him afraid. Sometimes his stories were horrorful, terrorful, fearful. He wanted to make his master afraid. Two major characters are there in this story. First one is Iswaran, he is cook and he is storyteller also. And second is Mahendra, the master of Iswaran. He is engineer, a young man, junior supervisor in any company. He was unmarried, he was bachelor. And there is one man, Ganesh. Ganesh is a journalist. Ganesh and Mahendra both are listening the story. And Iswaran, he moves here and there to his master. Moves here and there means he tells false stories, irrelevant stories. So, see now, one night Mahendra woke up from his sleep and saw a dark, cloudy form. He broke out into a cold sweat. Was it a ghost? You can say no. Ghost is false belief. We should never believe in ghosts. We should believe in ourselves. We should believe in God. We should believe in our dreams, our imaginations. We should not believe in the first things, false things. Now I am starting at page 12. The story was narrated to Ganesh by a young man. Who is that young man? Iswaran. Mahendra and Ganesh, both were the listeners. Okay. The story was narrated which told to Ganesh by a young man, Mahendra by name. He was a junior supervisor in a firm his company, which offered on hire supervisors at various types of construction sites, factories, bridges, dams. If anywhere construction was going on, there he was sent. Who? That Mahendra. and with him his cook was also going. Mahend's job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site, just like a supervisor, engineer. His work was to see what is happening. Riti, Sraj, make yourself silent. Trisha, Rudra Jaiswal, in your house, if any activity is going on, sound activity, it will come to me and it will disturb us. Page number 12, lesson 3, book is Moments. The name of the lesson is Iswaran, the storyteller. I am starting the story. This story tells a good message. It gives a good message that we should not believe in the ghosts. Ghosts are unreal things, false things. We should become bold. We should become courageous. We should not believe in the useless things. Now say, the story was narrated. Narrated means told to Ganesh by a young man, Mahendra by name. He was a junior supervisor in a firm which offered on hire supervisors at various types of construction sites, factories, bridges, dams. There was any factory, and that works was to make factory, bridge, dams, and there was a supervisor. His name was Mahendra. Mahendra's job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site. Site means the place where work was going on. Mahendra was watching it, supervising it. He had to keep moving from place to place every now and then as ordered by his head office, from a coal mining area to a railway bridge construction site. From there, after a few months, to a chemical plant which was coming up somewhere. Anywhere he was sent, where the factory was working, where there was any factory, bridge, dam was constructed, anything was constructed, there he was going as a supervisor. And with him, there was his cook. The name of the cook is Iswaran, Mahendra is the supervisor, and Ganesh is a journalist. Mahendra and Ganesh both were the audience, they were listeners, and Iswaran was a cook. He was a talkative person, he was telling the story. Now, page number 13. Ritesh Raja, you are listening? Are you listening? He was a bachelor. Who? Mahendra. Bachelor means a person who lives single. Married man is a bachelor also if he lives single anywhere. His needs were simple. He was a bachelor, so his needs were very simple. What is the first need of a man? What is the first need of human being? Food, water, clothes, house. Three necessities are there. His needs were simple and he was able to adjust himself to all kinds of odd conditions. Any odd means strange, new, any condition was there in that he could adjust. Who? Mahendra. Whether it was an ill-equipped circuit house means guest house. Ill-equipped means badly prepared. Or a makeshift canvas, makeshift means temporary tent. Tent in the middle of a stone quarry. Quarry is the prey, where is the place, where object, where nothing is there. Any place, at any place, he was a bachelor, man, he was adjusted. But one asset means property, benefit, he had was his cook, Iswaran. In this story, the most interesting character is Iswaran. He was telling a lie, he was telling many stories. The cook was quite attached to Mahendra. Attached to means he was related to, he was very close to, and followed him unaccompanied wherever he was posted. And where was the posting? There he was going to cook the food. So it was a good thing. Mahendra was a supervisor, he had not to cook the food. Because in the when you leave the house, your first problem is cooking the food. So there was one cook. His name was Iswaran. But he was very talkative person. He was a storyteller. His stories were false, nothing real. So the cook was quite attached to Mahendra and followed him unaccompaniedly wherever he was posted. Where he was posted means where he got the job, where he was working, and there that cook was also going. He cooked for Mahendra. Only his work was cooking, washed his clothes, and chatted away with his master at night. Whole day he was working And Iswaran was working. He was cooking food, washing the clothes. But in the night time, food time, dinner time, there was a time when he discussed many things. He was talking very much. He was passing the time. He was telling interesting story, but all his stories were false. What was the bad thing in his personality? He was telling the horrorful stories. Horrorful means the stories that frighten you, that make anybody afraid. False stories, imaginative stories. So he could wave out endless stories. Wave out means make. Real meaning of wave is knit, canite. But here you can say prepare, make. In Hindi there is a word bunna. His stories were not real. He was waving out storage and anecdote. Anecdote means storage, old storage, tells on varied subjects. Varied means different. His stories were on the different subjects. So till now we have studied that there is Mahendra, supervisor, there was his cook Iswaran, and there was a journalist Ganesh. Ganesh is minor character in this story because time to time Mahendra and Iswaran, these two names are there. Ganesh was only a listener. At one time his name is mentioned in the first line. So Iswaran also had an amazing capacity to produce vegetables and cooking ingredients seemingly out of nowhere in the middle of desolate. Desolate means barren landscape. Landscape means scenery of the land. With no shops visible for miles around. In very difficult places, in very remote areas, there was posting of Mahendra. And there also, he could arrange the vegetables. This was his capacity. I think he was going in the village area and he was talking to the people, he was buying something. So he would miraculously means wonderfully. Conjure up means attract. Conjure up means do the magic. His stories were very interesting. He attracted the most delicious dishes made with fresh vegetable within an hour of arriving at the Jink seat. Jink seat means temporary shelter at the new workplace. At any place where Mahendra was posted, two things he was doing. First, he was arranging the vegetable, and second thing, he was producing some new stories. So now, fourth paragraph, page number 13, book is moments. Mahendra would be up early in the morning and leave for work after breakfast, carrying some prepared food with him. See the routine of Mahendra. Mahendra would be up. Up means got up. Be up means got up. Very early in the morning. And he was taking the breakfast. He was taking some prepared food and going to his site. Who was making the food? Iswaran. And who is the storyteller? Iswaran. Meanwhile, Iswaran would tidy up the shade. Tidy up means clean. Tidy up is a phrase. Phrase is a word, group of words that gives a sense, not complete sense. Shade means veranda, yard. He was cleaning his house. Wash the clothes. See the work of Iswaran. Cooking food early in the morning, in the day, making the house clean, washing the clothes, and have leisurely bath. Leisurely means freely, and he was taking bath, pouring several buckets of water over his head. He was free to walk, to take bath because his master was not at that place. Muttering a prayer all the while. Muttering means murmuring. When he was taking bath, he was doing any prayer. Prayer, any Hanuman Chalisa, just like that Sundarkan. Doing a prayer all the while means when he was taking bath, then he was doing any prayer. It would be lunch time. By then, after eating, he would read for a while before dozing off. Dozing means sleeping for a short time. Okay, I've admitted you. Uh, dozing means in Hindi, ungna. Sleeping we are doing at night, But in the day, if we are sleeping by sitting for a minute, for some minutes, that is called dozing. In the bus, in the uh, uh, temporary places where we are sitting, sometimes we are dozing off. So what he was doing? He was reading, he was dozing. The book was usually some popular Tamil thriller. Thriller means a book that gives thrills. In Hindi, romanchkari. Thriller running to hundred of pages. He was reading the books, he was reading the stories. Its imaginative descriptions and narrative flourishes would hold Iswaran in thrall. Enthrall is a phrase. Enthrall means attracted. When Iswaran was reading the books, he was attracted with the books. He was reading many stories. So one thing is good. He was a studious boy. He was a studious person. His own descriptions were greatly influenced by the Tamil authors that he read. But one thing, when he was reading any story, his descriptions were also there. When he was narrating even the smallest of incidents, he would try to work in suspense and surprise ending into the account. Do you know, some stories are very interesting when the ending is very suspicious. For example, instead of saying that he had come across an uprooted tree on the highway, he would say with eyebrows suitably arched and hands held out in a dramatic gesture. Gesture means movement of the body. The road was deserted and I was all alone. Suddenly I spotted something that looked like an enormous bushy beast. Enormous means very big. Beast means wild animal, jungly animal. Lying sprawled across the road. His way of telling the story was very attractive. I was half inclined to turn and go back, but as I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree. It was his way of telling the story. He was creating suspense. With its dry branches spread out, Mahendra would stretch himself back in his canvas chair and listen to Iswaran's tales uncritically. And Mahendra was listening all the stories those were told by Iswaran. So what was the work of Iswaran? Cooking the food, washing the clothes, washing the house in the night, telling the story. Which type of stories he had? Imaginative story. Which type of other stories he was telling? The false stories and attractive stories. Page 14. The place I come from is famous for a timber. Timber means wood. Iswaran would begin means start. In this way, he was telling the story. There is a richly wooded forest all around. Now, see his way of telling the story. The logs are hauled on means pulled on. The lorry is by the elephant. Lorry is a big truck, long truck. Muddy Kumar is coming. Okay, I have admitted you. Lorries are long, big trucks. They are used to carry the materials. They are huge, well-fed beasts. Beast means animal. Well-fed means giving good food. Got good food. When they turn wild, even the most experienced Mahavat is not able to control them. He was talking about the elephants. When the elephants were wild, here wild means you can say mad, turn means change, then they cannot be controlled. After this prologue means introduction. Ritesh Raj, you can make yourself silent. Prologue means introduction. Iswaran would launch into an elaborate anecdote. Launch means start. Launch into a phrase. Elaborate means big. Elaborate means descriptive. Anecdote means story. Involving an elephant. Involving means including, related to. He was telling the stories of elephant. One day a tusker. Tusker is a kind of elephant. Escape means ran away. From the timber yard means you can say jungle, forest. Timber means wood. Yard means open space. You can say forest. And began to roam about. Roam means move here and there. Stamping on bushes. Stamping means crushing. Crushing means pressing under the feet. Tearing up wild creepers and breaking branches at will. Creepers are kind of plants. He was saying, telling the story, that he was crushing the plants. You know, sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad? He was talking. That do you know, sir? Who is sir here? Mahendra. Who is his storyteller? Iswaran. So sir is used for Mahendra. Mahendra was supervisor. His post was good enough. Iswaran would get so caught up in the excitement. Caught up means attracted. Excitement means chill. Caught up means that when he was telling the story, he was creating atmosphere, interesting atmosphere. Excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation of the mad elephant. Emulation means copy. He was doing the copy, acting of the elephant, mad elephant. See the way of his storytelling. When Iswaran was telling the story, he made his stories very imaginative, very attractive, very beautiful. He was doing action also when he was telling the story. So, paragraph 8, page 14, lesson 3, the book is Moments. The elephant reached the outskirts of our town. Outskirts means out area. Breaking the fences down like matchstick. Very good figure of speech is used. What figure of speech? Simile. That boy was telling the story. He was not boy, he was a man. His name was Iswaran. He would continue means go on. It came into the main road and smashed all the stalls selling fruits. And what that elephant was doing? Breaking all the stalls. Stalls means shops. Each word is used. Here his word should be used. If elephant is a big animal, for the elephant it is not suitable. Mud pots and clothes that when the tusker was made, tusker is a kind of elephant. He was breaking many things on the way. People ran helter skelter. Helter skelter is a phrase. It means here and there, carelessly. In panic, panic means fear. When the elephant was mad, the people were running here and there with fear. The elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing, breaking through the brick wall. Sometimes he was using hyperbole. Hyperbole is overstatement. That boy, Iswaran, he was telling the stories, sometimes full of imagination, so much imagination. So he was saying that uh, the elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing, breaking through the brick wall. See the hyperbole is used. He was breaking the brick wall. All the boys ran into the classrooms and shut the doors tight. Boys were afraid. Boys means here students. The beast is which beast? Elephant. Beast means forest animal. But here the beast word is used for elephant. Grunted is made a sound. And wandered about, wandered means moved, pulling out the football goal post. Now he is making his story interesting. Tearing down the volleyball net. In the field, there was a school. In the field, there was volleyball net. There was football goal post. That elephant was mad. He was breaking everything. Kicking and flattening the drum kept for water. There were so many drums for water. He was kicking them. Kicking means striking with the leg, with the feet. And uprooting the shrubs. Shrubs means small plants. Uprooting means taking the thing from the root. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up to the terrace. Terrace means roof of the school building. He was telling a lie. He was using hyperbole. Hyperbole is overstatement. Teachers were on the roof. From there, they helplessly watched the depredation of the elephant. Here, depredation means the attack, the action, anger. There was not a soul below on the ground. See, hyperbole. He is using. On the ground, nobody was The streets were empty as if the inhabitants of the entire town had suddenly disappeared. Again, a figure of speech is used. Simile. The streets means the lanes, the roads, all were empty. Nobody was there. Just like there was any type of earthquake or any type of calamity, all the people have gone away, run away. It was studying in the junior class. I was studying in the junior class at that time. Paragraph 9, page 14. Book is Moments. I was studying in the junior class at that time and was watching the whole drama from the rooftop. He was telling many things were false. He was not telling the real story. Uh, Drama from the rooftop. I don't know what came over me suddenly. I grabbed a cane, grabbed his cut. Cane is a rod from the hands of one of the teachers and ran down the stairs and into the open. He was telling a lie. He was showing his bravery. The elephant grunted and menacingly means dangerously, swung a branch of tree which it held in its trunk. Trunk is the part of body of uh, elephant. In Hindi, it is called soon. Trunk is the nose also, hand also. The elephant's most useful part of the body is trunk. It stamped its feet. Stamped means crushed. Stamped means strike. Kicking up a lot of mud and dust. He was telling a lie. He was telling the story. It looked frightening. Frightening means fearful. But I moved slowly towards it. He is showing his bravery. He was telling a lie. Stick in hand, people were watching the scene, hypnotized. Hypnotized is attracted. Hypnotized means attracted. People were attracted. They were watching the bravery of this boy, Iswaran. He was in the school at that time. Nearby house top means roofs. On the top of the house, it means on the roof, people were there. The elephant looked at me red-eyed. Red-eyed means angry, ready to rush towards me, just like the elephant could crush that Aishwaran. It lifted its trunk and trumpeted loudly. Trumpeted means made a sound. Made a sound. In Hindi, chingharna. Made a sound, made a noise. At that moment, I moved forward and mustering means collecting all my force, whacked its third toenail on the quick. Whacked means cut. He is telling a lie. Hyperbole figure of speech is used. He is saying that he has cut the third toenail on the quick. The on the quick is a phrase, it means quickly. The beast looked stunned. Stunned means surprised for a moment. Then it shivered from head to foot and collapsed. Collapsed means fell down. He is telling a lie. He is saying that the elephant was fallen down. Elephant got afraid. Thing was opposite. Elephant was mad. Elephant is more powerful than a human being. At this point, Iswaran would leave the story unfinished and get up mumbling. Mumbling means murmuring. I will be back after lighting the gas and warming up the dinner. Mahendra, who had been listening with rapt attention means close attention, would be left hanging. Hanging is stopped. It is a phrase. Left hanging means stopped. Mahendra was busy in listening the story, and in the middle he left the story. When he returned, Iswaran would not pick up the thread of the story right away. Mahendra would have to remind him that the conclusion was pending. Pending means not complete, incomplete. Mahendra was saying that your story is incomplete. Complete that story. But really he was telling the false story. So he was not completing. He will start other story. 1 minute, 10 minutes. Okay. Well, a veterinary doctor was summoned to revive the animal. See, he was telling the story. Veterinary doctor means animal doctor. Summoned means called. To revive the animal. Which animal? Elephant. He told that elephant was fallen down. Revive means cure. Iswaran would shrug casually. Shrug means move the soldiers. Shrug means move soldiers. He was telling the story in his own way. 2 days later, it was laid away by its Mahavat to the jungle. Now he was finishing the story very fast. Well, how did you manage to do it, Iswaran? How did you bring down the beast? This was the question from Mahendra's side. Mahendra knew that he was telling a lie. Lie. Mahendra asked, "How do you control? How did you control that beast? Beast means that animal, that elephant. It has something to do with a Japanese art." Again, he was telling a lie. He was doing self-praise, self-admiration. I think, sir, karate or jitsu, it is called. I had read about it somewhere. It temporarily paralyzes the nervous system, you see. He was telling a lie. He was saying that he was using karate to control the enemy. He did not know any karate. He was telling a lie. Only he was befooling his master. Not a day passed without Iswaran recounting. Recounting is describing some story packed with adventure. Adventure means courage. Packed means with means full of. It is a phrase. Packed with is a phrase. Horror and suspense. His stories were full of doubt and full of fear. Horror means very much fear. Whether the story was credible or not. Credible means believable. One who can believe on that. Mahendra enjoyed listening to it because of the inimitable way in which it was told. Telling was very. One thing, one art was there. The story was told in a very interesting way. Iswaran seemed to more than make for the absence of a TV in Mahendra's living quarter, and Mahendra had no, Iswaran had no any TV. Mahendra had no any TV in that quarter. His TV was Iswaran. Iswaran was telling the story. TV is also giving entertainment. His entertainment was given by Iswaran. One morning when Mahendra was having breakfast, Iswaran asked, "Can I make something special for dinner tonight, sir?" After all, today is an auspicious day. Auspicious day means good, special day. According to the tradition, we prepare various delicacies. Delicacy means tasty food. Food to feed the spirits of our ancestor today, sir. Iswaran said to Mahendra that today is a special day. Maybe any festival was there. I'm going to tell you, cook the good food. That night, Mahendra enjoyed the most delicious dinner and complimented Iswaran. Complimented means praised on his culinary skill. Culinary skill means cooking skill. Complimented means praised. On that day, very good food item was made by Iswaran. He seemed very pleased. Pleased means happy. But unexpectedly means without hope, launched into a most garish account involving the supernatural. Garish means cruel. Involving means related. Supernatural means ghost. On that day, he was telling a ghost story. You know, sir, the entire factory area we are occupying was once a burial ground. See, he was a very interesting character. He was telling a lie again. Do you know, sir? This was the burial ground. Hindi meaning, Urdu meaning of burial ground is Kabristan, where the dead bodies are buried. He started, Mahendra was jerked out. Jerked out means uh, jolted out, jumped out of the pleasant reverie. Reverie means imagination, vision. He had drifted into after the satisfying meal. Satisfying means um, which gives satisfaction. Meal means food. I knew on the first day itself when I saw a human skull lying on the path. Even now I come across a number of skulls and bones. Iswaran continued. Iswaran was telling a false story that this place is ghostly place. This place is famous for the burying the dead. Page 16. See the photo. This is the Iswaran. Photo of Iswaran is given. He is walking on the road in the field, and there are the skulls. Skulls means khopadi in Hindi. Structure of the head. He went on to narrate how he sometimes saw ghosts at night. He was telling a false story. I am not easily frightened by these things, sir. I am a brave fellow. See, he is doing self-praise. Some people are having the habit to praise themselves. But one horrible ghost, horrible means fearful, of a woman which appears off and on at midnight during the full moon. It is an ugly creature with matted hair. Matted means locked. Matted means locked hair and a shriveled face. He was telling a lie. Shriveled means not good. Like a skeleton holding a fetus in its arm. Fetus means baby, unborn baby. Fetus means unborn. So he was telling a lie. He wanted to make his master afraid. Mahendra shivered means moved, afraid, got afraid. At the description and interrupted rather sharply, you are crazy, Swaran. Crazy means mad. There are no such things as ghost or spirits. It is all a figment of your imagination. Figment means story, creation of your imagination. Get your digestive system examined and maybe your head as well. You are talking nonsense. Mahendra knew that this man was telling false story. He said that get check up your head and stomach. Many bad things you are telling in the story. He left the room and he retired for the night, expecting Iswaran to sulk for a couple of days. Sulk means avoid. But the next morning, he was surprised to find the cook as cheerful and talkative as ever. Mahendra has scolded, so he thought that Iswaran will not tell any story. But again, he was ready. From that day on, Mahendra, for all his brave talk, went to bed with certain unease. Unease means difficulty. Unease means not easy. You can say difficult situation, difficulty. Every night he peeped into the darkness outside through the window next to his bed. Now Mahendra was got afraid, trying to make sure that there was no movement of dark shape in the vicinity. Vicinity means area. Vicinity means area. In the vicinity is a phrase, but he could only see a sea of darkness. This is a phrase. Sea of darkness means much darkness. With twinkling lights of the factory miles away. Mahendra got afraid by the stories of Iswaran. One night, Mahendra was woken up from his sleep by a low moan. Moan means weep. Close to his window. Somebody was weeping near his window. At first, he put it down to a cat prowling around for mice. He was thinking that this was a cat, but the sound was too guttural. Guttural means speaking with the nose. For a cat cannot speak like this. Cat cannot mew like this. He resisted. Resisted means opposed. The curiosity to look out lest he should behold a sight which would stop his heart. Now Mahendra was afraid because the false stories were told by Iswaran. But the wailing became louder and less feline. Feline means like cat. Feline is a word, it is used, it means like cat. So this, first of all, he thought that any cat is mewing, but cat was not producing sound. He could not resist the temptation. Temptation is greed, any mode. He wanted to see what is this, what is this. So he could not stop his greed. Lowering himself to the level of the window sill, he looked out at the white sheet of moonlight outside. Outside there was dark night. There he was looking. Who? Mahendra. There, not too far away, was a dark, cloudy